welcome back to Tiny's Garden, co-starring Bella, the other bulldog of the Rosenberg house. Today I'm going to go through my tulip order with you. They've all come in. I've got 997 bulbs I'm looking to get in the ground. So I'm going to go through the varieties I've ordered with you, as well as where I'm storing them, and a couple other things as well. So let's go take a look. A basement that's unfinished that we use for storage. The furnace and other important things that I don't necessarily know the name of are over here. And I am noticing that it's getting warmer. As we get colder outside, it's getting warmer in here. Now, in the summer and early fall, it's usually cooler in here, which is why I'm keeping my tulips here. Because ideally you want to store them before you get them in the ground somewhere between 40 and 55 degrees. So a cool spot in the garage would work too, a very cool spot in the basement. And my friends, I just checked the temperature because I can feel it's warmer, and it's getting close to 78 degrees in here, which is way too hot. So these are gonna move real soon after this video. Here is the majority of my order. I ordered from Holland Bulb Farm. Okay, so this is what a bag looks like. It comes with the description of what is in there, as well as how many bulbs, the height that it gets to, the specific tulip variety, and the bloom time, as well as the color. So you've got lots of information on these, which is nice. So this beauty right here is a tulip bulb. They're a little shorter and stockier. And that's the bottom, which is where the root grows. And this is the top, pointy side up when you plant it. That's where the tulip will actually come out of. All right, as far as packaging, the same information is on packages that these daffodils come in. This has 2 in 1, which is fine. You can just plant them like this. And this is a single. But daffodils are much bigger, bulb size. And so you'll plant these deeper as well. In general, you will make a hole twice as big as the size of the bulb you're working with. So tulips usually don't have to be quite as far down as daffodils do. A little fun fact. And these both look really healthy, as well as that last tulip I showed you. Let's look at one that is already rotted and will not perform. Okay, I just found this. This is not a tulip or a daffodil, but it's actually an allium. There's bugs in here, and there's several that are rotten in here. Oh gosh. Bugs are bad sign, people. Bad sign. Okay, so immediately you can tell in some of these bags by the shade and the sound. That's a rotten bulb. It's not going to grow. Let's open it. I mean, there's nothing there. If you see a lot of powdery stuff coming out, it's rotten, decrepit inside. That's trash. So I'm going to take these out because I don't want, if it's mold, to spread. How disappointing. I did go through these earlier and I set this one to the side that it was rotten, but I didn't know they were that bad. And that's not from being down here. I haven't had these long enough. That's really bad. Refund! Most places are usually good about you getting in touch with them and refilling your order if something is wrong. However, usually they have to do that within 5 days of the order. So we'll see how this goes. These are all Double Beauty of Apple Dorn. Double Beauty of Apple Dorn. Apple Dorn. You got the Double Beauty of Apple Dorn. Let me know if you're having a lot of rotten tubers or if this variety is just a little more difficult to find a healthy bulb. Anyway, let's move on. You've seen the difference between a healthy bulb and a not healthy bulb and where you want to store them. Let's get to the varieties, which is the fun part. Okay, take out a pen or pencil and some paper and let's get comfortable, shall we? Variety time. I'm going to put a picture on the screen of what all of these will bloom and look like so you get an idea of the final product. Here we go. First big bulk order I got was 500 mixed perennial tulips. And these have a variety of colors in them. I put these toward the front of my driveway in mass, plant single holes for each of them, only about 2 to 3 inches apart, so there's a blast of color, and it's a really gorgeous spring show. So this year we're going to do just a little different because tulips don't necessarily always come back. Sometimes they're perennial, sometimes they're not, and you never really know, at least in my opinion, where we are, which is zone 5B. So I planted more this year. Specific ones that are in that one are Orange Lion, Oxford Darwin Hybrid, Menton Single Late, Queen of the Night Single Late, Golden Appledorn Darwin Hybrid, oh boy, Gander's Rhapsody, Appledorn's Elite Darwin Hybrid, and Apricot Impression Darwin Hybrid. The nice thing about bulk mixed tulips, and bulk just means that you can order huge quantities of them, so 250, 500, 1,000, they come in several options, is that usually in the mix there's early, mid, and late blooming tulips. So you have a show of color for every part of spring. Early spring, mid-spring, late spring. Oh, glorious. So I did get some daffodils as well because we have a lot of the regular daffodils that, when I say regular, maybe I should use different adjectives, but when I say regular, I mean the more typically seen ones like yellow or white with the yellow on the inside. I got some that were white on the outside with either a pink or pinkish coral tone on the inside because that speaks to me, at least at where I'm at, so I can have some variety, not just all the yellow, which I still think is pretty. Okay, buckle up, people. Here we go. Other varieties I got. The Accent Daffodils, which is the first true pink daffodil, according to the website. Next, I got the My Story Double Daffodil. This is the one I'm most excited about. It almost has a tutu of pink corals or white in the middle of the flower, which I think the texture is so fun, and I have never seen it in person before. So I always want something that's unique. Mali Pink Daffodil. It surrounds the stamen with this nice texture, so I'm excited for both of those. British Gamble Daffodil. White on the outside with a little hue of orange or pink on the inside. Delicate and dainty. And with the daffs, I've just planted them sporadically in areas I remember not necessarily having many daffodils, or certainly not any white daffodils, so that they still have that natural look, because these are naturalizing, so they will spring up more as the seasons go by. Daffodils is not something I necessarily recommend going in a row or a certain tight pattern, because they'll spread on their own, and it's pretty much a meadow flower anyways, right? For those, I prefer to do sporadic planting, whereas my tulips, I like to put those babies in place where I want them. Tulip time! Allison Bradley Double Early Tulip is a tulip that has a rich purple color and has a double bloom in it. So a double bloom almost has two levels or two layers of a bloom, if not more than that, probably more actually. These are similar to a peony, which is also in its description, so it has a nice full look, which is quite striking in the garden. The Miranda Double Early Tulip is what I'm thinking is essentially a sister to the Allison Bradley, except instead of that true purple, it's a rich red. Carnival Day Nice Double Late Tulip is white with some delicate red striping in it, which I think will be a striking look too with that dash of red. And it says it is a late tulip, but in the description it says an early bloomer. So we'll find out on that. If you've grown her before and you know, drop a comment below and let us all find out. Carnival Day Nice is an extra tall bloomer, so somewhere in the back of a bed with layering in front I think would be really stellar. Compostela Bunch Flowering Tulip is interesting because it says it'll have 3 to 5 blooms per stem. And I've not seen that in a tulip before. It also says it's an early bloom and returns and multiplies, insinuating it'll come back season to season. At least that's what I'm taking it as. So I'll keep my eye on this one. Maybe I don't have to plan around that one every year. Next, Johann Strauss Kaufmannia tulip I've ordered this year, which is the first time I'm growing that specific kind of tulip. That'll come up to about 6 to 7 inches, so on the shorter side, but is also supposed to come back year after year. And it's got a pretty coloring with some white, little yellow, and the red. I think that combination is gorgeous. So I'll be putting this out front in one of our garden beds that's near the road, and it'll be the first thing people see, which will look really nice. Oh, this one, y'all. Super excited for this one. Varieties tulip is a yellow double flowering tulip, so it's got that full look with a fringed edge. Yellow coloring coming into a faded red. There's something really unique and kind of vintage and texture that just speaks to me. Helmar Triumph tulip has a really unusual, moody look. I've never seen this tulip in person before. It apparently is a similar marking to the original Rembrandt tulip. Hang in there with me, about 4 more. Danceline double tulip is similar to Carnival, but more with dainty pops of pink here and there. I don't want to say pops because it's not in your face. Dainty, gentle wisps of pink here and there. Ballroom fringe tulip is similar to the Varieties tulip, except instead of a double bloom, it's the regular tulip shape with fringe on the ends. Ballroom fringed also has a more peach, orange, apricot-y bottom at the bottom with the red toward the top. Okay, here she comes, the one I'm most excited for. Double Beauty of Appledorn Hybrid Darwin Tulip. Long name, that one there. So these are actually the ones that I was pulling out a lot of the rotted ones, which makes me a little nervous, but check out this structure, this form. That makes me think of an upside down pineapple with its shape and its texture. It's got a more unique look to it than anything I've ever seen before. I think this is going to be a treat to see her bloom. The last tulips I ordered were a duo set, so it's called the Candy Stripe Duo, which means that there's 2 different tulips within the same mix. The first tulip is a Sea Dove Red tulip, which is a classic red shorter tulip. The next one is the Carnival de Rio, which is white with some strokes of red in it. Okay, everyone, that's it. We've made it through all the varieties of daffodils and tulips that I'm going to attempt to grow this season. 997 bulbs I need to get into the ground. I'm about 400 in. So good luck with all of your planting if you're not done with your bulb planting. If you're still watching, please like and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you here, and comment below and let me know what your favorite tulips and daffodils are to grow in your area. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!